Hello and welcome to another episode of the CIRS Group podcast. I'm Jacie,
And I'm Barbara.
and today we're talking about who treats CIRS. Like what kind of people, where are the people, how do you contact the people? We're going to talk about all the people today.
All of them.
hmm Before before we do, this is the medical disclaimer that we're going to tell you to talk to your provider about switching anything up in your protocol. But hopefully this is the podcast that'll help you find the provider. So once you find them, talk to them about it.
Yeah, right. That part.
This is not
Um,
medical advice, is the
yes,
point.
yes. This is advice on how to get medical advice.
Adviceception.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, yeah, let's talk about it. Who treats the CIRS?
And you may know it as like mold illness. Chances are, though, if the practitioner is using the word or the phrase mold illness instead of CIRS or chronic inflammatory response syndrome, they might go the like natural binder route, the clays and the charcoals and the this and the that, detox and the whole thing. And they might have their own line of supplements. They might have a test to help you decide which of their line of supplements to buy. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. Obviously, I have a little resentment or something building up here about that. For true mold illness, but as we know it, CIRS treatment, you really want a shoemaker certified practitioner in your corner to help you through it. And the reason is they are using a clinically proven and well studied, lots and lots of research has been done on the shoemaker protocol itself for treating the immune system response dysregulation that occurs when you are exposed to biotoxins, most notably mold, but lots of other biotoxins as well. And so you do want somebody who has gone through a very rigorous test, let me tell you. I say as if I've taken it, to
Let me tell you.
yeah, I'll let Jacie tell you how freaking rigorous this test is. To really know what they're doing. Not only that, when they become a shoemaker certified practitioner or even a proficiency partner, and we'll talk about those a little later, they are then a part of a community of these practitioners who all share information. They meet relatively regularly in lots of different communities. Either, they get together in groups, they share notes, they will get advice from each other for their clients. You're getting a lot of support when you go for a doctor with this designation or certification.
Yeah, absolutely. I can confirm that it's just like one big group chat and it's just all CIRS. Like they'll actually say this patient is experiencing this, this is their blood markers, what would you do?
Yeah.
So it's not you're not just getting your provider, you're getting all of the shoemaker providers. So
Yeah.
it's a pretty amazing thing if you go this route.
So to find one, the best way to do that is to go to the official Dr. Shoemaker website, which is survivingmold.com. And there is a find a practitioner tab, and you can either search by location or just, see a list of them. However, they do need to pay money like annually, I believe, to stay on that website. So there are practitioners out there who are not necessarily listed. And the reason to bring that up is you may come across in your searching maybe your own state, for example, your own local area, you may come across a naturopath or, someone who obviously is bucking the conventional medical system. That's like a through line. But if you find someone and you can call their office and ask, are you familiar with the Shoemaker protocol? Do you use it with your clients? Are you familiar with illness caused by biotoxins like mold? That is what I have. Have those questions with the front office staff. And if they answer knowledgeably and you be the judge of that, it might be worth doing maybe one of their free or low cost consultations to just kind of like get a feel for the doctor at personality wise, and maybe get a chance to ask them some questions to vet them on how much they know about the Shoemaker protocol. So if you have to go that route, you can. Obviously, best to go with someone who is actually listed on survivingmold.com. You know that they're staying up to date on all the latest, and there is always the latest to stay up on when it comes to treating CIRS. But if you need to find, someone locally, that's another way to do it.
Yeah, and we've definitely had people in the group share about practitioners they've found in their state that weren't on survivingmold.com, but had gone through the certification process and just chose not to stay listed on survivingmold.com. So that's definitely a thing that's pretty normal. I'm not going to say it's common, but it's pretty normal to be able to find someone like that. Another option is if you have a general practitioner or a primary care provider who's open to it, open to taking you through the protocol. And I would recommend doing this with a proficiency partner on your team. The reason for that is because the proficiency partner is going to know the steps of the Shoemaker protocol and be able to give you and your provider guidance in terms of what step they should do next. The proficiency partners are listed on survivingmold.com. There are a couple of resources I also wanted to mention. One is Dr. Christian Navarro Torres. He's not on survivingmold.com, but he's been on the podcast a few times. He's really active in the CIRS group and in his own membership, which is CIRS Lab. And he is so good that some of the Shoemaker providers bring him in for consultations for difficult patients. That's how good he is. So you could work with someone like him. Also, Nutrition with Judy. She is a proficiency partner. I'm not sure if she's still listed on the website, but she has a CIRS white glove service. So you can go to her website, click on work with us, and there's a bunch of intake stuff that you have to go through. But that would be another option.
Yeah, and just to clarify, in case you're totally new, a certified shoemaker practitioner is someone who can prescribe medications and work as a doctor because they are a doctor of some kind. Whereas the proficiency partner could be really anyone, but generally speaking, they tend to have some kind of health coaching background. In Judy's case, she's a nutritionist. In Christian's case, he's a scientist researcher and also a patient. So you'll find that that's why if you can't do the certified practitioner who's the prescribing doctor, the next best thing would be to get a prescribing doctor who's not certified, but then get a proficiency partner who's probably something like a health coach who is very familiar with the Shoemaker protocol and is still plugged into that network we were talking about earlier of all the other CIRS practitioners and proficiency partners to, have them help them and support them in supporting you. So that's the difference there. And when you are looking at like your general practitioner or whatever doctor you have, let's say they the way they could possibly justify prescribing you cholestyramine or Welchol is they do a cholesterol panel on you and you have slightly high cholesterol. Okay, insurance, let's give them Welchol. They don't want to get on a statin, but we'll put them on Welchol. So that's why they can still prescribe something like that for you. So you have access to that medication. But then, of course, the proficiency partner is probably the one to rely on a little bit more as far as the dosing, titrating up, all of that, how to actually handle the medication once you get it. So that's kind of it's not a perfect thing to do, but again, if you're limited on funds and or limited in who you can see, especially because a lot of doctors can't see people across state lines, that's a good backup plan for those of you in that position. One cautionary tale to share, and actually we saw this in the CIRS group, and I'm so glad the person is a member of the CIRS group, so they were able to relay their experience, and we could quickly say, "Oh my God, stop." Um, their regular doctor was cool with the Shoemaker protocol. Well, call, sure. Cholestyramine, I forget which was prescribed. They're like, yeah, here you go. Oh, it was well call. They were like, take 14 a day. Guys, the Shoemaker protocol specifies the max dose is 6 Welchol a day. And in fact, you don't just go straight into taking six, you titrate up slowly, like 5 days of taking one, and then 5 more days of taking two, and so on and so forth. Obviously, talk to your doctor. Your titration schedule might look different. Some people can't tolerate it even that fast. But for the fact that this doctor, for some reason, went to 14 in a day is wild. I don't even know where they would have gotten that info from.
I was wondering if that's like the normal dosing for Welchol. And if that is the
Maybe.
case, that's insane because they're not huge pills, but they're not small pills.
No,
And you're supposed to eat it with food. So are you eating 7 meals a day if you're taking two at once? I have questions.
I have so many questions, but Yeah, it was wild. I can't believe someone got that advice, but that is the danger of going with a doctor who is not a shoemaker certified practitioner. You may get that kind of instruction. So and that sucks because you're already experiencing brain fog, fatigue, you're chronically sick, you might be in pain, and now you can't even trust what your doctor is telling you. So I'm not saying all that to negate what I just said of like, oh yeah, work with just a regular doctor if you need to. Just know that. Know that it could be good intentions, but bad advice, bad direction from a doctor. So that's why it is important to get a proficiency partner on board. That's and the benefit also, I would say, of the proficiency partners, the ones that are not doctors, they usually can see you on a much quicker basis than doctors. A lot of the CIRS doctors have months of wait time. You often, like for me and Jacie, I think you're the same thing. We don't even see our doctors more than like once a quarter, if that, testing blood about that much as well. So if you need more support than that, that's where a proficiency partner is great. You could probably see them once a month. If you're in the thick of it, you could see them weekly. You know, if you really felt like you needed that level of support, you can see them a lot more often, get their, they're good for accountability of creating a plan that fits your lifestyle. Like, yes, this is ideal up here, but your lifestyle is here. So we're going to like meet you in the middle and find what works best for you. That's the purpose of getting someone on that proficiency partner coach level. So even if you are working with a CIRS practitioner, you may want a proficiency partner coach as well, just to help you in the interim between those appointments with your doctors.
And kind of taking a left turn because we just talked about, how to get your CIRS treated by the people. Kind of pivoting now. So if that was all you were listening for, if you're looking for more resources and support, join us over at the cirsgroup.com. We'll see you there. But I wanted to add this to the podcast because I think it's so important. Educating your current providers, especially the ones who have been dealing with your chronic symptoms, letting them know once you have your CIRS diagnosis, letting them know about the protocol, letting them watch you heal. Like to me, that's the best FU of. So I'm coming from a place of anger and I need to settle down.
No, you don't. It's fine.
When I was really sick, I met with my rheumatologist. This is before I knew about CIRS. And he told me, Jacie, I think you just need to come to terms with the fact that this might not be a flare. This might be your new normal. This might be the amount of pain you experience for the rest of your life. And we need to consider what we should do to manage that. And, now that I've had the CIRS diagnosis and I have no symptoms, 100% symptom free, I have sent emails to that rheumatologist being like, look, it is unfair for you to tell people that there is no hope in that way until you exhaust this resource as well. I said it nicer than that. Until you exhaust this resource as well. So you can approach this however you're comfortable. And at the end of the day, you're really only responsible for yourself and your own healing. But I do think if you have the bandwidth or, you want to share this story of healing with your other providers, it's a pretty incredible story to tell. And it's funny because even my dental hygienist who like doesn't really have anything to do with CIRS, but she's seen me heal because she sees me every 6 months, but she's seen me heal and she's like, we had our house remediated and my daughter, she's on oxygen. She's just not getting better. And I told her she needs to look into this CIRS thing that you keep talking about. And I'm like, yep, yep, she
Yes.
does.
Yes, absolutely. No, that's a great point. And we'll put links to studies that you can even print out and bring to them if you would like, or email them if you're not seeing them in person. Feel free to send them to this podcast. We'll be happy to be the bad guys and tell them off. Just kidding. I mean, we'll just, we give information and hopefully if a podcast is an easy medium for them to just click play and listen to and get to know the illness a little bit better and understand it better, that's a great thing for everyone. Because then now that doctor who regularly sees people with chronic illness, imagine how powerful that would be if that person knew about CIRS and could direct their patients, the ones that are potentially a CIRS case, to that answer for their own healing, rather than telling someone like Jacie, yeah, sorry, you're going to be in pain like this for the rest of your life. By the way, here's a suicide hotline. I don't know, maybe you'll need that. I don't know. It's just wild to me that doctors don't educate themselves beyond their specialty and don't know what else to look for. They don't have to treat all the illnesses, but they should be able to screen for them and direct people when appropriate. And that's what we do hope for the future of medicine. We'll see.
Yeah, so down in the description box, we'll put a link to the podcast, What is CIRS? That's a good starter one for them. And we'll also put links to studies that people have used within the group to send to their providers, just educating them more on CIRS. They are the studies, they're not like white papers. As soon as a CIRS doctor puts together white papers, I will have links for those, but to this day, not a thing.
Yeah. Can we write it for them and then just say, put your name on this and put it out there?
We can try.
Let's
Let's try.
that's our next project, guys. We just gave it to ourselves. Yeah. So I hope this was helpful for you guys considering treating CIRS, wanting to know more. And I know the doctor situation is tough out there. There's so few of them that really are experts on CIRS. And not to mention all the insurance BS and the reasons that they can't see patients across state lines in a lot of cases. It's frustrating. That's an understatement. It's very frustrating. So, we hope that this is helpful for you guys to move forward with treatment with the best resources you possibly can, whatever you have available to you.
Yeah. And for more resources and support, you can join us over at the cirsgroup.com.
We'll see you there.